wrestling fans, 1 week from tonight. 1 week from tonight, we're going to see the 30th annual Survivor Series. Thanksgiving week tradition. Teams of 5 competing, Raw versus SmackDown. But this year, WWE really, even though their matches are centered around that, they are tossing all of that out the window, and they are booking this around one thing and one thing only, and that is the phenom of the WWE, 30 years of the dead man. To the date, 1990, the Undertaker Survivor Series, he emerged for the first time with Brother Love. We're going to discuss everything that I think the dead man might do at the Survivor Series, and if it's going to lead to something else, or if it's just going to be a one-off. Right here today on this preview and predictions, plus everything else that we're going to see next Sunday. Before we do that, wrestling fans, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the bell for all notifications. Give me a like and a comment down below if you like this video, and go back and watch anything you missed. Reviews, Backyard Beatdowns. Speaking of Backyard Beatdowns, 1, 2, 3, and 4 are up on the channel right now, and the 5th one is going to be taking place this coming Friday. So tune in to that. Now, let's dive into the Survivor Series. Next Sunday, we're going to see teams of 5 compete, Raw versus SmackDown. We're going to see champions versus champions galore. Wrestling fans, WWE likes to proclaim that the Survivor Series is the only date that we see Raw versus SmackDown, all different types of stuff. It's really not that anymore. Anybody that follows along and really pays attention to that knows that it is not the only date anymore that we see Raw versus SmackDown. I kind of wish they'd give the Survivor Series a new look than that, but they're probably not going to do that. They're just not. I, for one, really like how they had the traditional 5-on-5 Survivor Series matches, and then maybe 1 or 2, just regular matches, singles and that kind of stuff. But they're probably never going to go back to that. Let me know what you're thinking about it in the comments below. First things first, let's dive into the WWE Champion, Randy Orton, versus the Universal Champion, the big dog, the high chief, whatever kind of chief he's calling himself these days, Roman Reigns. Is it even going to be Randy Orton after tomorrow night? Right now it's Randy Orton as the WWE Champion, but he's defending it against Drew McIntyre. Quite frankly, WWE has backed themselves up into a corner just like they did in 2017. The only difference in this is they had Jinder Mahal taking on Brock Lesnar in 2017, champion versus champion. And Jinder Mahal had absolutely no business going up against Brock Lesnar. Here, you have 2 of your biggest heels, best heels, on the roster, Raw and SmackDown, and neither one of them needs to get beat. Neither one of them. So, what have you done? You backed yourself up into a corner, and now Drew McIntyre is probably going to win come Monday night. Why? That way, Drew McIntyre can lose to Roman Reigns at the Survivor Series. And then what will happen? Drew McIntyre will drop the title back to Randy Orton. That's just the way I see it, wrestling fans. And then that will put another accolade on Randy Orton's name by winning the title again. But honestly, if it was me and they knew they were going to get stuck in this, quite frankly, I would have kept the title on Drew McIntyre until after the Survivor Series. Y'all let me know what you're thinking about it in the comments below. Raw Women's Champion Asuka taking on SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks. I am really glad, I am very happy that we did not see Bayley versus Asuka in this matchup. I like the chemistry between Asuka and Sasha Banks. They do a very good job, quite frankly. And, I like the fact that Sasha Banks has been able to hold on to the Women's Championship for more than a month now. That's great. So let's keep that up, and this should be a great contest. Quite frankly, I think Sasha Banks should go over here. She needs some wins under her belt with the championship. That's what I'm going for. And quite frankly, WWE is going to make SmackDown look stronger anyway, because that's their main brand show now, not Monday Night Raw. So let's just take it at that. Raw Tag Team Champions, The New Day, take on the SmackDown Tag Team Champions, the Street Profits. Now, I know wrestling fans that tomorrow night, if you're watching this the Sunday before Raw, that the New Day are defending their Tag Team Championships against MVP's men. Their duo, Shelton Benjamin and Cedric Alexander. Do I think that MVP is going to bring the titles to the Hurt Business, the Hurt Club, to the MVP Lounge? Absolutely not. This is the one instance that I think WWE is going to keep the New Day and the Street Profits tag team champions, two baby faces in one matchup. Wrestling fans, let's just be honest here. This is a matchup that fans would rather see that they would keep in the ring. So they would rather see this than the Hurt Business taking on the Street Profits. They don't want to see that garbage. New Day versus Street Profits Survivor Series to see who is the best team in the WWE, and WWE will probably put over the New Day. Y'all let me know what you're thinking about it in the comments below. Now here's one matchup that I'm sure nobody, absolutely nobody, cares about, and that is the United States Champion Bobby Lashley, or as I like to call him, Almighty Cringely, taking on the Intercontinental Champion Sami Zayn. Now, if you watch SmackDown this past Friday, Sami Zayn beat Apollo Crews and retained the Intercontinental title. Quite frankly, I was surprised that they did not put Apollo Crews up against Bobby Lashley at the Survivor Series and kind of renew that rivalry one more night. I, for one, wouldn't have watched the match. I would have probably taken a break and went and got something to eat or something. But I hope they keep this heel versus heel. WWE will probably have another opportunity come Friday night with Sami Zayn defending the IC strap. Will he lose it? Maybe. If it's against Apollo Crews, maybe. Not quite sure about that. Have to wait and see. But as of right now, Sami Zayn versus Bobby Lashley, I hope Sami Zayn goes over. But that's just me. More than likely, Bobby Lashley will go over because of the stuff they're doing with the Hurt Business right now. 5-on-5 Women's Survivor Series Elimination Tag Team Matchup. What are they going to do with this? Not quite sure. Don't know who's going to win. if Raw wins in the women's, then SmackDown will win with the men. If the women's SmackDown wins, then Raw's men will win. But my guess is Raw's women's team will win and SmackDown's men team will win. Because they want Roman Reigns and Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso or whichever Uso it is right now to look as strong as they can and just build up them as strong as they can right now. No better way than to have the Usos go into the Survivor Series and walk out a victor. No better way. And besides, AJ Styles and everybody that's on his team, no doubt they're going to be having friction during the matchup and things of that nature. I mean, I would like to see AJ Styles win, but more than likely that's not going to happen. So we'll just have to wait and see. And quite frankly, the women's Survivor Series matchup is always a toss-up. It's just always a toss-up, to see what happens with that. But y'all let me know what you're thinking about all of that in the comments below. And as far as the dead man, really the real reason why we are watching the Survivor Series, the biggest reason we're watching the Survivor Series this year is the Phenom. That is what they're booking this year's Survivor Series as. 30 years of the Undertaker. His final farewell. Is it his farewell? In my eyes, probably not. But it is going to be nice to see what he does. And my guess is, just like a report that I read a while back, or in what everybody's been talking about, I can see this happening. The Fiend. The Fiend versus the Undertaker. Bray Wyatt doesn't have anything going on during the Survivor Series as of right now. He doesn't have one thing going on. The Undertaker and The Fiend having a confrontation at the Survivor Series. It is announced that The Undertaker is going to be there. I mean, can you imagine the stare down between those two? Fiend comes out, Undertaker comes out, the stare down. Maybe the Fiend gets chokeslammed or something of that nature. That's probably what's going to happen. And what happens next? The build to WrestleMania, in which that's his final farewell matchup. Maybe he gets put in the Hall of Fame after that. Who knows? Maybe this year is when the dead man gets put in the Hall of Fame. We never know, but it would have been nice. It would have been nice if this was his actual final farewell. I mean, in my opinion, if this was his actual final farewell, if he was going to have a match, this Survivor Series would have been the spot to have it. The pay-per-view he debuted on. Not WrestleMania. I understand the streak. Everybody loved the streak. I love the streak. It's the reason we tuned in to WrestleMania for so many years. The pay-per-view he debuted on. That would have been a perfect spot for him to have his final farewell match. Y'all let me know what you're thinking in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel today. If you haven't done so, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? I don't know. So don't wait anymore. And make sure you give me a like and a comment down below. Much appreciated. And of course, until I see you all again, this is Webby, and I'll catch each and every one of you on the other side. Talk to you later.